and now we'll get you up to minute on all the great hoops. Hey, Tony, nice to have you here. Tony Atzeni is here, and all sorts of hoop action happening around Des Moines.
Yeah, it's a good time of year here in Des Moines, especially for the Wells Fargo Arena and all the restaurants and everybody else around.
We only had a little bit of snow with the tournament being in town. Only had a couple of flakes, so we got away pretty easy there. But yeah, you pick up the Des Moines Register, and it's all over there, folks, with the Iowa girls basketball tournament going on at Wells Fargo Arena. And I've been down there a couple days, Tony, and I don't know about you, but these games have been fantastic. Close.
Exciting.
These girls are playing their hearts out. But so there's been a lot of games, but we're getting down to the best of the best right now as we're heading into the championship.
Time to raise the trophies here tonight and tomorrow night here at the Well. And yeah, I mean, when this tournament started, when the season really was underway, we said there was a lot of parity. We hate using that word, it's overused word, but this year was true. And you can see the way the tournament's played. There's only been a couple of blowouts. Most of the games have been competitive, and even some that ended up a little wider, they were close until late when teams kind of pulled it away. But in Class 1A, you've got top-ranked Turkey Valley of Jackson Junction against Springville. Springville, who has won some titles in their school history, and they had the runner-up finishes as well. They're back at the state championship, so kind of no surprise when you look at the rankings 1 versus 3 there. In Class 2A, I said it all along. I had these two teams at 3 and 4, but I thought they were 1-2. But based on the regular season, I had Iowa City, Regina, and Pekin on their records at 1 and 2. Well, those two Northwest Iowa teams are going to meet again. Unity Christian of Orange City, the defending state champs, will be taking on Western Christian of Hull. And Western Christian did beat Unity Christian during the regular season, so this is the payback game, and it'll be in the championship game.
If
so
you're from Northwest Iowa, like Jason and I are, these are two teams that you always hear about when it comes to
I hope
basketball.
they both lose, having gone up to the Mars. If there's a way for both of them to lose, that'd be fantastic.
Oh, Jason, you're a piece of work. You're so nice. and then we get the rematch in 3A, and everybody kind of expected, was Center Point Urbana going to be able to maybe be the the newcomer to the dance, but it's not. Nevada, the defending champs, they'll take on Pocahontas area, who, man, yesterday Cherokee decided, well, we probably can't stop them offensively, but we can run with them offensively.
And it basically came down to the last 4 minutes from what I saw. They were going back and forth, but Pocahontas, they have a three-point shooter that doesn't miss.
Yeah. They were just on fire last night, 102-91. I mean, that's fun to watch.
Wow.
And really, it was 85-80 Cherokee, and then some foul trouble. Free throw shooting, we talk about that. Ellie Ruffridge, who's going to end up being the all-time leading scorer in girls basketball history when she finishes her senior year with health. She was like perfect from the free throw line. I mean, you just can't stop that kind of stuff going on. It was a great game, and it'll be Pocahontas area and Nevada, two totally different contrasting teams. Can Nevada play that slow down? That game's in the 40s and 50s. You better watch out. Nevada's got a really good chance.
So this is the discussion I was having with people last night who were watching, including Lisa, who's one of the big wigs over with the Girls Union, and always great to see her. Nevada plays a different game than Pocahontas, and I feel like when they match up, Pocahontas is fast, they're hitting those hoops, where Nevada was kind of a little bit of a slower game. At point, I think there wasn't any point scored for like 6 minutes.
Yeah, and Nevada's not like one of those teams that can't run, but they choose not to, especially why would you try to run against a team like Pocahontas area who that's their style? If you can frustrate those teams who want to push the envelope, and if you can get that game muddied up, it could frustrate Pocahontas. Nevada won the title last year with basically some of the same players on both sides, and it was their style of game. So
who won last year?
Nevada.
Nevada won. And who do you think is going to pull it out this year?
Well, I think there's sometimes that second time in that, boy, we should have won that game. You really make some changes. It depends.
You sound like a politician
here.
It
depends on the style. If Nevada can get that game in the 40s, I like them. If it gets past 50, 55, then I think Pocahontas has get the style played more to their game, and they'll probably be the victors when it's all said and done. But it's about who's going to win the battle of contrasting styles. Who's going to force
and they
their
are
pace.
Completely two different styles.
And then today we got semifinals in 4A and 5A with Keokuk and Mason City facing each other, and Pella and Ballard, the more local teams. Ballard, who was my #1 team at the end of the year, but I thought this class was wide open. So, I mean, you can make a case for each one. Mason City with some, they played the 5A competition, so you look at their record and you go, how did they get here? Oh, they played all the 5A schools for most of the year, while the other ones played 4A and 3A. So their record's really deceiving. So, wouldn't be surprised if anybody. I kind of tend to think it's going to be Mason City and Ballard making it to the title game, but Pella's been pretty darn salty all year, and so is Keokuk. And they're kind of in that part of the state where you don't really know a lot about them. So the Lady Chiefs will be tough in there as well. And in 5A, well, you got Scott DeYoung and Ankeny Centennial. Scott's been used to being the state tournament coach. And you have the Johnston Dragons, who ended up the season as my #1 team. Johnston will take on Linn-Mar, who will be going up against Jamie Prenti, who's now Jamie Brandt, who played at Linn-Mar, who played at the University of Iowa, and now is coaching at her alma mater. And then, of course, Cedar Falls, they've had some pretty nice runs over the years and won a state title back in the days, and they're taking on Ankeny Centennial for that semifinal game. So I like the CIML all year, but you know, I thought it'd be 3 or 4, maybe all 4 CIML teams in the semis. Eastern Iowa's proven this wrong with Cedar Falls and Linn-Mar, so throw that statement out the book. We'll see what happens here.
We're talking history with Johnston. They've, you know, they haven't won forever at the state tournament since last week.
And you know, Rachel Hinders was kind of banged up coming in. She did play in that quarterfinal round game. She still didn't look like herself, so you know, she had that little break there with the injury, so hopefully she's going to be stronger in the semifinal round game and maybe got some of that rust off when you have that injury and you get back in there and maybe you play somewhat tentative at times. So, but they still prevailed in that last ball game. So Johnston has a 3-headed monster. They can score inside and outside, and they defend. So I like them all year long. We'll see what comes out.
She gets the rust off. I need to have a talk with her because I need to get some of my rust off.
See how she did it.
If there's one game that you're looking forward to most, Tony, what would it be?
Oh, I think, I don't know, this today, Cedar Falls and Ankeny Centennial, because I mean, Cedar Falls really played well against Waukee, the defending champs. It was back and forth, and I mean, Waukee built like a 5 or 6 point lead, and usually in those tight games, you get to that spot, you can put teams away, but Cedar Falls just never quit. So, you know, and Ankeny Centennial, they're definitely never going to quit. When you looked at their ball game in night 1, they were down early, and they just kept chipping away, and then they won the battle down the end. And once they have a 2-possession lead and the ball with under a minute and a half, you know, and you can take care of the basketball, you're not going to get your chances to come back against a team coached by Scott DeYoung, and they did that in that quarterfinal round game.
So when do things kick off today?
Today, they get underway this morning with the semifinals in Class 4A until this afternoon with 5A, and then tonight it's the championship games for Class 1A and 2A, and then Saturday late afternoon, I think 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock for the state championship games, and then of course it'll be a busy week because KCWI will be part of that whole state championship on the boys' side.
On the boys' side as well. I know we're staying busy with all the great things happening downtown, especially when it comes to local sports. And Tony and Zadie, if we want to follow along with what you're doing, where can we do that?
Well, you can check us out on our show, Ben Carroll and myself, on 1350 ESPN on Saturday mornings from 8 to 10. This last Saturday, we previewed the girls' state basketball championship games from Central Iowa. This Saturday, we'll preview the boys' state championship and look back at the girls' championship games on Friday and what to expect on Saturday maybe for the championships. But we'll have 5 coaches already, a minimum, going to be interviewed on our show Saturday morning. It's a lot of fun as we talk positively about the high schools, colleges, and pro teams there in the state of Iowa.
Perfect. Tony and Zadie, thank you so much for joining us, catching
Thank
us up
you.
on all the great things happening at the Wells Fargo Arena with Iowa Girls State Basketball Tournament, the Union, and what they're doing over there. Go support local. Some great things happening.